Assalamualaikum and good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Yusuf Shukri and this is TVS Nightline. And our headlines for tonight. Bintulu port set to become a Sarawak state port by 2025. Technician pleaded guilty after making harsh remarks on the Allah socks issue. And on global news, UK and Australia announced immediate need for ceasefire in Palestine. Top of the hour. Britain and Australia earlier today declared the need for an immediate cessation of fighting in Gaza. Both nations have joined the chorus of global diplomatic pressure on Israel to rethink a planned ground assault on the southern city of Rafah. The call came just hours before the United States was expected to pull a resolution to the UN Security Council that would stress the need for an immediate ceasefire.
Washington has vetoed many times calls for resolutions that include the phrase immediate ceasefire. The U.S. has been consistent in shielding its ally Israel from UN criticism as it avenges the attacks on October 7. But Washington expressed concern about the death toll of Israel's 5-month-old Gaza offensive and the political fallout across the Middle East. There are also suspicions within Washington that Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu could be extending the conflict for political gain. The introduction of a UN resolution from the U.S. would intensify pressure on him and Israel to scale back their military actions. However, it remains uncertain whether such a resolution would effectively bring an end to the conflict. Brushing aside critics, Netanyahu has vowed to intensify operations by moving into Rafah. According to him, he hopes to rout the remaining Hamas forces. London's demand for an immediate cessation of fighting indicates growing anxiety within Britain regarding the toll and repercussions of Israel's military operation. As a permanent member of the UN Security Council, Britain holds veto power, aligning it with other influential nations such as the United States, Russia, China, and France.
Now back in Malaysia, a 34-year-old man was sentenced to 6 months jail and fined 12,000 ringgit after posting insensitive comments on Facebook concerning the sale of socks bearing the word Allah. Cheok Wai Lung pleaded guilty of the offence committed on March 18th before Judge Susanna Hussein at the Kuala Lumpur's Session Court earlier today.
The technician was charged under Section 233 subsection 3 of the Communications and Multimedia Act 1998, which carries a jail term of not more than 1 year and a maximum fine of up to 50,000 ringgit or both upon conviction. If he fails to pay the fine, Cheok will face an additional 3 months behind bars. After pleading guilty, Cheok apologized and said that he had no intention to berate Islam. He added that it was a hobby of his to go on Facebook and leave comments on trending issues, that he was just a keyboard warrior. Cheok pleaded for a lighter sentence as he did not want to lose his job in order to care for his 63-year-old mother. However, Deputy Public Prosecutor Datin Kalmizah Saleh pressed for a deterrent sentence. She said respect and courtesy must never be disregarded as Malaysia is a multiracial country. Prior to Cheok's arrest, another man hailing from Sabah pleaded guilty to a similar charge and was sentenced to the same punishment. 33-year-old Ricky Shane Chagampang was charged on Section 233 subsection 1 subsection A of the Communications and Multimedia Act with misusing network facilities by posting the comment through his Facebook account at 12:05 p.m. on March 17th.
The handover of the Bintulu port to the Sarawak government, expected to be finalized by next year, is poised to pave the way for Sarawak's emergence as a major exporter of renewable energy in the region. States Premier Datuk Petinggi Tan Sri Abang Johari Tunopeng said that the Sarawak government has plans to undertake new developments at Bintulu port to cater to the new industries in the division.
Dan ini sudah tentu akan menjadi satu-satunya pembangunan yang harus kita laksanakan di kawasan Bintulu. Dan dari sudut kargo memang ia akan bertambah dari sudut ekspor. Dan saya yakin bahawa dengan pengurusan di bawah Kerajaan Sarawak, kita dapat menyelaraskan semua sumber ekspor kita ke perubahan yang strategik.
Elaborating further, he said the port's development projects are also in line with the post-COVID-19 development strategy PCDS 2030. Thus, he is confident that the Bintulu port will play a crucial role in boosting the region's economy.
Kalau kita kaji daripada aliran trafik antara barat dan timur, dan kita yakin bahawa ia akan memberi impak bukan saja untuk Sarawak tetapi untuk negara Malaysia. Yeah. Kerana saya rasakan bahawa pembangunan masa depan akan bergantung kepada tenaga hijau. Dan kita concentrate on what we call green energy, and that will allow investor to come for green product. Dan ini selaras dengan pembangunan yang berlaku di seluruh dunia.
Earlier, Abang Johari witnessed the signing ceremony of a memorandum of understanding to facilitate the change of status of Bintulu Port from the federal government to the Sarawak government at the Prime Minister's office in Putrajaya. The ceremony was also attended by Prime Minister Datuk Sri Anwar Ibrahim. Federal Transport Minister Anthony Loke signed the agreement on behalf of the federal government, while Sarawak was represented by Deputy Premier Dato' Amar Douglas Uga Ambas.
Now, similarly, the Sarawak government extends its gratitude to Putrajaya for the seamless handover of Bintulu Port back to Sarawak. Premier Datuk Petinggi Tan Sri Abang Johari Tunopeng said that Sarawak has comprehensive plans in place to oversee the port's operations, recognizing it as one of the main drivers of Sarawak's economy.
Negeri akan menubuhkan satu pelabuhan pusat, Central Port Authority, di mana kita akan menguruskan semua pelabuhan yang ada di Sarawak, seperti Pelabuhan Kuching, Pelabuhan Miri, Pelabuhan Tanjung Manis, Pelabuhan Sibu, dan ini akan kita urus bersama dengan Pelabuhan Bintulu nanti di bawah satu bumbung, iaitu the Central Port Authority. Dan ini akan memberikan impak kepada pembangunan ekonomi yang sedang berjalan di Sarawak, dan ia akan juga memberikan impak kepada ekonomi Malaysia keseluruhannya, sebab kita adalah pengeksport banyak bahan sumber.
In addressing other technical matters, Abang Johari said that the issues have been referred to the established committee for resolution by the end of this year.
Now, the Bintulu port, currently under federal jurisdiction, is set to become a Sarawak state port by 2025. Transport Minister Anthony Loke said the transition process will likely conclude this year. A Memorandum of Understanding MOU has been signed between Minister Loke and Sarawak's Deputy Premier, Dato' Amar Douglas Uga Ambas, who also serves as the state's Infrastructure and Port Development Minister. The MOU aims to facilitate the smooth transfer of operations to the Sarawak state government.
Jadi dan hari ini kita telah tandatangani MOU untuk memberikan komitmen ini kepada Kerajaan Sarawak. Selepas ini ada beberapa proses lagi yang perlu dilaksanakan. Yang pertamanya, kita kena bawa ke Parlimen untuk memasukkan akta Pelabuhan Bintulu. Sebab Pelabuhan Bintulu ini ditubuhkan di bawah satu akta Parlimen pada tahun 1981. Jadi akta itu perlu dimasukkan terlebih dahulu sebelum diserahkan kepada pihak berkuasa pelabuhan di Sarawak.
Anthony Loke also announced plans to remove Labuan Port from the jurisdiction of the Bintulu Port Authority Act 1981. The act was previously used to extend to Labuan Port.
Dan beberapa perkara teknikal yang lain akan dibincangkan di antara Kementerian Pengangkutan Malaysia dengan Kementerian Infrastruktur dan Pelabuhan Sarawak. Umpamanya beberapa perkara teknikal dari segi novation agreement kepada pihak operator, kaki tangan pelabuhan yang akan dikekalkan selepas ini dan sebagainya, dan juga beberapa elemen kewangan yang perlu diperincikan lagi di antara persekutuan dengan negeri.
Loke stressed that the transition of the port status aligns with the Madani government's dedication to honoring the Malaysia Agreement 1963 and fulfilling its provisions. This historical event, held at the Prime Minister's office, was witnessed by Sarawak Premier Datuk Patinggi Tan Sri Abang Johari Tun Openg and Prime Minister Datuk Sri Anwar Ibrahim.
Raising public awareness and efforts to protect and preserve water quality are crucial for environmental sustainability and human health. In conjunction with the World Water Day today, Deputy Prime Minister Datuk Sri Fadilah Yusof, in a post on his Facebook page, said that water quality is also influenced by various factors such as industrial pollution, agriculture, urban development, and human activities. Fadilah, who is also the Minister of Energy Transition and Water Transformation, emphasized that water is the foundation of life. Therefore, Malaysia also prioritizes the implementation of appropriate laws to preserve the quality, resources, and supply of water in the country. Meanwhile, Minister for Utility and Telecommunications Sarawak, Datuk Sri Julai Hinarawi, in his World Water Day message said that the day is a reminder for everyone to unite in safeguarding water, emphasizing its role in promoting peace and laying the groundwork for a more stable and prosperous future. He said the use of water resources should be well managed in the face of challenging climate change. And for the record, World Water Day is observed on March 22nd each year, with this year's theme being Water for Security. Meanwhile, Japanese award-winning musician Kitaro will be headlining the 27th Rainforest World Music Festival, or RWMF, at the Sarawak Cultural Village from June 28th to 30th. Sarawak's Minister of Tourism, Creative Industry and Performing Arts, Datuk Sri Abdul Karim Rahman Hamzah, said that the annual event will also feature Malaysia's own award-winning singer, Datuk Zainal Abidin.
Headlining from the international arena is the Grammy and Golden Globe award-winning legendary artist, Kitaro. Renowned for his groundbreaking electronic instrumental music, the Kitaro Live World Tour promises to be a mesmerizing experience, marking his first appearance at our festival.
He said this in a press conference after the launching of RWMF 2024 on Friday. RWMF 2024 boasts a lineup of 20 acts, featuring 68 international musicians from 14 different countries, as well as showcasing the talent of 63 Malaysian artists, bringing a diverse and vibrant range of performances to the stage.
Welcome back. The scorching heat, relentless rain, and tumultuous seas are no match to the noble mission of safeguarding the sovereignty of our nation. For the stalwart members of the Malaysian Maritime Enforcement Agency, MMEA, this arduous task is an integral aspect of their daily duties, even during the holy month of Ramadan. Our correspondent Hendy Gui and Ahmad Nasrullah were granted the privilege to embark on a voyage aboard the KM Merlin in the waters of Sarawak. And this immersive experience offered them a first-hand glimpse into the challenges and sacrifices endured by MMEA officers in their line of duty. Let's take a look.
For Maritime Technical Class 1 Seaman Muhammad Razif Morning, the arrival of Ramadan does not diminish his spirit, even while fasting in the middle of the sea. Having served with MMEA for 5 years, he stated that there is no room for complaints among MMEA members to ensure Malaysia remains safe and peaceful.
Pengalaman bekerja di KM Malin sewaktu bulan puasa tu memang agak sedih sikit lah sebab di antara dua lah, di antara mental dengan fizikalnya lah. Bila disebut mental, masa berbuka dengan sahur jauh dari family, and then bila fizikalnya, bila masa nak berbuka tadi, apabila laut pun kadang-kadang laut baik, laut teruk kan. Jadi mungkin masa yang ada mabuk laut sikit, ya fizikalnya lah, ya cabarannya. Pengalaman kami tadi berpuasa di laut, alhamdulillah dah 5 tahun berkhidmat. Alhamdulillah 5 tahun je udah berpuasa di laut. Tapi puasa atau puasa, kerja mesti dijalankan lah seperti biasa.
Meanwhile, Maritime Commander Muhammad Khair Baharam said all his crew members remain committed to their duty of guarding the nation's waters while fasting, even under the scorching sun and unpredictable weather. In fact, he said the routine on the ship does not hinder them and their colleagues from fasting during Ramadan.
Di bulan Ramadan, walaupun kita berpuasa di siang hari, namun begitu semangat yang kental warga KM Malin untuk meneruskan pengoperasian di laut amat kental sekali. Kami di PPM sendiri sentiasa akan menjaga perairan negara secara telus, secara saksama untuk menangani segala salah laku undang-undang yang berlaku di perairan negara. Sepanjang saya menampuk pemerintahan Kapal Maritim Malin dengan diberikan alhamdulillah diberikan kru-kru yang gagah, kru-kru yang baik, kru-kru yang memberi kerjasama kepada saya, secara tidak langsungnya pengoperasian di laut dapat dilakukan dengan baik. Alhamdulillah, terima kasih kepada warga KM Malin itu sendiri. Secara dasarnya pengoperasian kami ini bukan saja di sekitar Sarawak sahaja, maknanya bukan di Kuching saja, kita akan meneruskan pelayaran kita sampai ke Beting Pantai Ali.
Comments on the challenges faced at sea become more interesting when TVS had the opportunity to interview a female MMEA officer, Junior Maritime Lieutenant Bridget Barry. According to Bridget, as a woman, she faces similar situations and feelings, but they are somewhat different.
Luas kan, and then kita akan dalam maritim ni kita akan jaga perairan tau, so kita akan meet a lot of vessel, okay, because we are taking care of the vessel, kita punya perairan, a lot of things we have to take good care of. Jadi untuk saya itu ada risk untuk saya sebagai wanita lah. Sebab yalah kan kalau ikut betul as a woman jarang sekali perempuan mau kerja macam ni tau. So for me satu benda yang best, pengalaman, and then I can at least out from my comfort zone.
The interview was conducted after TVS crew was given the opportunity to experience iftar, breaking a fast on board the KM Marlin ship, together with more than 30 officers and members of the Malaysian Maritime Enforcement Agency APMM Sarawak Maritime Zone on the Marlin maritime ship measuring 39 meters long. Earlier, the media representatives gathered at the APMM jetty around 4 p.m. and were taken on board a boat travelling into the South China Sea, about an hour journey from the jetty. Briefings were then conducted by the officer in charge of KM Marlin, Lieutenant Commander Muhammad Khair Baharam, regarding the operations of the ship.
On to our next update. Malaysia today decided against hosting the 2026 Commonwealth Games because of the cost, and a fresh blow to an event seen as outdated by some. The decision made at a cabinet meeting chaired by Prime Minister Datuk Seri Anwar Ibrahim follows the withdrawal of the Australian state of Victoria last year.
Youth and Sports Minister Hannah Yeoh said the Commonwealth Games Federation, CGF, offered Malaysia £100 million or 6 million ringgit to host the Games. The CGF was scrambling to find another host after the Australian state of Victoria withdrew last year because of soaring costs. However, Yeoh said the £100 million offer was not expected to be able to cover the entire cost of organising a large-scale sports event. She added the government instead wants to focus on the development of sports as well as the welfare and well-being of the people. Victoria's sudden move and the lack of an obvious alternative triggered debate about the future of the Games, which take place every 4 years and were last held in Birmingham in 2022. The CGF has suggested Malaysia was not the only country it had asked to host the Games. Singapore recently said it was assessing the feasibility of the CGF's proposal.
Meanwhile, Malaysia Airlines MAS has inked a strategic multi-year partnership with Manchester United as its official commercial airline. The Malaysian Aviation Group MAG Group Managing Director Datuk Captain Izham Ismail said the collaboration will enhance its global reach and tap into the football group's vast community of over 1.1 billion fans and followers worldwide.
Izham said MAS also hopes that the collaboration will boost its brand recognition in Europe and Southeast Asia. Izham stated that the partnership serves as a vital enabler in achieving MAG's long-term business 2.0 aspirations, empowering it to explore commercial collaborations that transcend the limitations of traditional airline partnerships. Meanwhile, Manchester United's Chief Executive Officer of Alliances and Partnerships, Victoria Timson, said the club is pleased to welcome MAS to its list of partners and added that MU has a long-standing connection with Malaysia and supportive fans from across the country.
Thank you for staying with us. Now onto global affairs. At least 5 people were killed and 14 wounded in a massive wave of overnight Russian air attacks, with another 3 still missing. The Ukrainian Air Force said Russia launched a massive wave of attacks on Ukraine's energy facilities using more than 90 missiles and 60 Iranian-made drones. According to the state hydropower company, the strikes severed Ukraine's largest dam, the Dnipro in Zaporizhia, but there was no risk of a breach. The mayor of the eastern city of Kharkiv, Ihor Terekov, also said traffic lights in Ukraine's second largest city had stopped working as a result of the strikes. Now, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky, who has been urging Western allies to supply more air defenses in recent days, condemned the attack. He added, work was now underway to restore power supply in 9 regions. Wrapping up the Nightline, dozens of Rohingya refugees are feared dead or missing today after their boat capsized off Indonesia's westernmost coast this week. Local rescuers have called off the search despite survivor accounts that many were swept away And on Thursday, authorities staged a dramatic rescue of 69 Rohingya who had been adrift at sea for weeks. Their boat capsized a day earlier, with many found clinging to the hull of an overturned vessel. Survivors told local authorities that as many as 151 refugees were on board the boat.
What happened? In the water, and then? Are you drowning in the water?
The United Nations Refugee Agency, UNCHR, said if those still missing are confirmed to have died, it would represent the biggest loss of life for the Rohingya at sea this year. UNHCR representative to Indonesia and Myanmar pleaded for the search efforts to continue in hope of finding survivors in a post on X. But local authorities nixed the search earlier today because there was no list of passengers. The group of 69 Rohingya were rescued off Aceh province on Thursday, made up of 40 men, 18 women, and 11 children. 6 others, including 4 women and 2 men, were rescued by fishermen a day earlier. The mostly Muslim Rohingya are heavily persecuted in Myanmar. Thousands risk their lives each year on long and expensive sea journeys, often on flimsy boats, to try to reach Malaysia or Indonesia.
See the world closer with TVS as we bring you the latest news updates both locally and internationally, just a click away, by heading on to our website at tvsarawak.my or by following us on our social media platform, and that's alias TV Sarawak. That's all the time we have for tonight's TVS Nightline. Once again, my name is Yusuf Shukri. Thank you for watching. Have a good night and Assalamualaikum.